You're gonna start out by taking your oil dipstick tube out. That's 8mm. Just lift it out, turn it a little bit. All right, I'm gonna remove the valve covers next, 8mm. And then this one down here is a 13mm. $10mm. If I pull our crank pulley off, that's an 18mm. I'm using a 3-jaw puller to pull our pulley off our crank because I don't know what the heck I've done with my other one. All right, next we're gonna take our timing cover off. These are a 13mm. These, the ones that's got the studs coming out, they're 18mm. And when you take these out, first thing you wanna do, you wanna keep track of where these go. And I will show you after we pull this off how I'm gonna do that. So just keep track of them. And I always go through, especially on aluminum, anything that's aluminum, I like to break it loose, 1/4 of a turn, and just go back and forth like this in reverse torque sequence. Now I've got all mine loosened up, I'm just gonna pull them all out. All right, you got 4 here on the bottom of the oil pan. It's gotta come out because they go right up through the timing cover. Take them out. All right, we're gonna pull our cover off now. Next, you're gonna pull your crank sensor gear off. And if you look right here, I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but it says front, which means it goes towards the front of the engine. For any reason it don't say that on there, which I don't know why it wouldn't, just take note that the teeth are pointing towards the front. They curve this way. Next, you're going to want to place a camshaft holding tool on your cams. Do them on both sides because you do not want to bend a valve whenever you take the tension off the timing chains. You want to tighten these as evenly as possible. Don't use your power tools, just hand tighten these. Get them good and snug down so your cam don't spin. All right, next we're gonna remove our chain tensioner. These are 10mm. Do this side. Chain guide is broke. Trash, trash. Pull this hair off. Put that one on. So, if your chain guides ain't broke like them are, use your 8mm to get them out. Which is, this is the only bolt I have to remove to do that. And this one right here actually goes through the oil pump. So you need to make sure this one goes back there for sure, because it's gonna be different. and because it's longer. I mean, all this is broke. Now I'm just gonna leave these bolts right here in for now, but in order to remove your chain guides, remove this one out of the head, this one, you remove this one out of the head, and the one out of the oil pump. All right, now we can take our chain off. You ain't gotta worry about your cam spinning and bending the valve. Take this chain here off. And this gear right here is going to pull straight out, just like that. All right, so we're going to break our head bolts loose, and you're going to want to break these loose a quarter turn at a time until you have all of the head bolts where they lift right off the head before you take any of them out. But you're going to go in a certain pattern. Now you're going to go reverse torque sequence. So like this is head bolt number 1. If you're torquing the head down, that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But you want to do it in reverse order when you're taking the heads off. So this is 10 over here. And what you're going to do is just going to go a quarter turn at a time. You're going to need a good breaker bar. All right, about 4 trips around to get the head bolts to break completely off the head. Then you can use your little impact there if you wish. It don't matter what order you take them out after this. Just so you know, you got 2 options. You can either throw these in the trash or save them and build something with them. I don't know. You may need some long bolts. Never know. I wouldn't throw them away. I'm going to keep them. Put them in a box or something, because I'm always making stuff. So these are no good for this project. You're gonna have to get new head bolts. So you just grab it, lift straight up, and it may be stuck. If so, take you a dead blow and pop it just in a couple places. Try to help break it free. Head gaskets seem to be fine. Ain't nothing wrong with that one either. All right, next we're going to remove the pipe tube for the heater core. Just take you a dead blow rubber hammer, just sit there and tap on it. Tear out the way. All right, flip your engine upside down, remove your oil pan. This is going to be 13 millimeter. All right, guys, you remember the chain guide that was broke? Didn't even have to remove the bolts to take it off. I found the rest of it right here, stuck in the oil pickup tube. I want to move our oil pickup tube, this right here. It's a 10 millimeter on this one. Down here, it's going to be a 8 millimeter. Just lift straight out. Remove this extension, 17 millimeter. We'll go ahead and remove our oil filter cooler out of the way. These are, you got 4 bolts holding that in. It's a 13 millimeter. We'll remove our oil pump. These are 8 millimeter. Now keep track of what order these bolts go in, because you want to put them back in the same place when you go back to put your engine back together. This is the one that was holding the chain guide on. That's why you see it sticking out. Just pull it straight out. Now we're going to pull our rear main seal out. That's going to be an 8 millimeter. You have 6 bolts to get that there out. Come right out. All right, we're going to start removing our pistons. And before you do that, you're going to want to make a mark so you'll know which is which. And what I do is I take a center punch and I will make a little indentation right here. And depends on which position or cylinder it is how many indentions I make to let me know. So I know here, it's right here is cylinder number 1. It's the first piston. I'm going to make a little indentation right here on this side of the block. And then like this one right here will be number 5. And then I will make indentation on this side of the cap. Just grab you a punch and a hammer. All right, we're looking at the front of the engine here. I've made my little indications, let me know which piston is which, and what, you know, where the connecting rods go. If you look right here, I made a 1 on number 1. I made 5 little dots right here on number 5, and I have them going towards the outside of the block. That way, we go to assemble this, we don't get our connecting rods, you know, turned around if we remove the wrist pins to remove the pistons by chance. I want these connecting rods to go back in exact way they came in. That's if I even reuse any of this stuff. I've not made my mind up on yet, but right now I just want to get everything to the machine shop and get in line. Now, so we got 1, you got 5, you got 2, you got 6, 3, 7, 4, and 8. Or, well, let's just do it this way. Piston number 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all the ones up towards the front of the crank. The caps are. Then you got 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, we're going to start out by removing cylinder number 1. These are 11 millimeter. They have 11 millimeter. And what I do is I go a quarter to a half a turn, back and forth until I can take them out with my finger. So go a quarter turn here. Quarter. Another quarter. All right, now we can get them out with our fingers. All right. Just pull the cap off, bring the bearing out with it. That's what that right there is, your bearing. All right, you're gonna knock your piston out, And you're going to want to use the handle of a hammer, either wood or rubber. And give it a few taps here, just, there we are. Just enough to get it rocking and rolling. Now this bearing right here is going to fall. So we're going to get that right there out. And just pull it through like that. All right, go through and do the rest of them. Before you set the piston down, put your cap back on. That way you'll know which way your piston came out. You know, got my little 1 dot here for cylinder number 1. We know it's facing outside the engine. So I put it back just like that. Now I can set this down, not worry about it I don't have to worry about spinning it around and losing track of how it goes back in. We're going to pull the main caps. So these main caps, I don't know if you'll be able to see that on camera or not, but they are numbered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you ain't got to worry about marking these. And if you notice here, they got arrows. It points towards the front of the engine. So these are, it's hard to get these right here mixed up. So these are 13 millimeter. There is a total of 30. And you got 10 that's holding the main cap on. You have 10 side bolts and then 10 jack screws, which is that little piece you see right there. And you have to take these out in reverse order of the tightening sequence. Start here, this will be number 30, 29, 28, 27, you know, so on and so forth. So start with 30. 30, 29, 27, 26. Just keep going like this right here till you get them all broke loose. These are not hard to break loose. Here's number 2. Number 1. These right here ain't hard to break loose because they're only torqued to 15 foot-pounds. You'll actually be able to reuse your side bolts and your jack screws, but your bolts hold the main cap on. You will not be able to reuse these because these are torqued to yield, just like the bolts that were in our heads. All right, we're going to remove our jack screws. It takes an 8 millimeter Allen head. I cannot find my 8 millimeter Allen socket that go on the end of a ratchet, the long ones anyway. So I'm going to have to improvise for now because I just want to get this ripped apart. So you start back over here. This will be, that's 30, 21. So this will be number 20. So you can take a wrench, help break it loose. Go to the left, just like that. Now, when you now these ain't gonna come out. So what happens is, so when I broke that loose, and you break it loose like a normal bolt, go to the left, lefty loosey, that jack screw you see right there, it's actually gonna push it towards the cap so you can clear the block. That's how that there works. We'll come over here and do this one. Slide that one in there, break it loose, just unscrew it. Again, it tightens it to the main cap. You're getting ready to see right here how this works. So take note that the jack screw is towards the block and you see the gap between the jack screw and the main cap. Now when I break it loose, watch, you'll see it actually tightens it up against the main cap. There, now you understand how that right there works. Here. last but not least, all right, now we can take the main bolts out. Again, these are torque to yield. You can't reuse these, so don't worry about saving them. Up here's number 10. Right here's number 1. So in the same reverse order of the tightening sequence. Go 10. Get on there. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. That was a little, felt too loose. 3. That one did too. 2. 1. These two right here did not feel very tight, and I think there's one other one that felt a little loose to me. Go another quarter turn. That one's loose. Yep, they're all loose enough to do by hand. That one not so much. Yep. Now, take note, you got a stud here. This is for your oil pickup too. So just remember number 4 on the driver's side. That's where your stud goes. I can zip these here the rest of the way out. Number 2, number 1. Yep, pull our caps out. I like to pull the middle ones out first. That way I can spin the crank without it messing anything up. Ouch. That hurt. That there's called a thrust washer. That's the top half of that. When grab your crank, you want to pull straight up. Try not to scratch it, because the crank may be in great shape, you just never know. All right, here on the back, you'll see this thrust washer right here. Just pull it out. And notice the little cutouts you see right there. Maybe y'all can see that. And little cutouts, they go towards the back of the engine. And this side right here is smooth, as you can tell. All right, we're gonna pull our freeze plugs out after you put penetration fluid in there and let it soak for a minute. These can be a pain in the butt to get out. I like to take a punch, place it right here on the edge, just like it right there. and I try my best to drive this in and spin the freeze plug, then take a pair of channel locks, pliers, whatever, and pull it out. It don't always work that way. Sometimes you end up poking a hole through it. If you do, you'll have to pry it out. All right, almost forgot. This is a gasket for your oil cooler. Just pull that there off. Don't forget about that. All right, after you get all your freeze plugs out of the block, by the way, this one right here on the side of the block in the middle's got a lip. This one right here, you'll have to jab a hole in it and then pry this freeze plug right here out. As far as, there's a plug right here, it takes an 8mm Allen head. Get that one out. There's one on the other side you got to get out. And don't know if I mentioned, but the one in the center on the other side of the block has got that lip as well. So there's only 2 of them that's got the lip. Going to have 2 here and also on the back side of the engine, just like these. And then you're going to have a oil gallery plug right here. You need to kick it right there to the side, spin it, needle nose pliers, pull that right there out. And you also have one of these here on the back side of the block. After that, block's ready to go to the machine shop if you choose to do so. All right, the heads, I'm not gonna pull them apart in this video. This video is gonna be long enough. So we're gonna do that right there on the next video. And until then, catch you guys on that one.